In today's video, I'm going to be giving my honest thoughts, feelings and opinions of a new game that came out on the 20th of May. This is called Just Die Already. This game is described on Steam as being an old people mayhem simulator / sandbox game that implements the physics-based madness that you would know from games like Goat Simulator, which is quite funny that I've mentioned that because it is by the same designers. This time, however, under the banner of Double Muse. More about that and its similarities in gameplay later, but before we go any further with this video today, I just want to say if you do like today's video, then please smash the like button. Also get subscribed if you are new and you do enjoy this content. We are on the road to 10k subscribers and it would be much appreciated if you do subscribe. Also consider joining our Discord community so I can keep you up to date with what's going on with Tech Evolved. With that said, let's get on to the premise and the background story to this actual game. Because well, it does actually have a background story, although not very impactful to the gameplay. There isn't really any cutscenes or narrative when you're actually playing the game, although it does set up why you are doing the things that you're doing and what the end game is when you're actually playing. So the game is set in the near future where people aren't having children anymore. As a result, there is no one to pay pension schemes due to those ungrateful millennials who preferred playing video games instead of actually doing work. Guilty, I guess? With no one to cover the cost of living, all the old people around the world have to survive by their own means. Essentially in a world that just wants you to die already. Hey, that's the name of the game! This is where you as the player comes into the storyline, only making things worse by, well, getting kicked out of the retirement home, with now your only option is to collect tickets in order to qualify for free retirement, and this is done by performing dangerous tasks throughout the world and exploring it. This is essentially what you'll be doing in the gameplay in both single player and co-op, which in fact it is nice to see that co-op is, well, cross-platform. Although if you are on some of the newer consoles like the PlayStation 5 for instance, there are some features that are left out on that version. I don't know what because I don't own it on the console. Today we are looking at it on the PC. I did play the multiplayer in cross-platform to just give it a little test, but most of the footage today is going to be from the single player, I would say from the first 2 hours of playing. So like I said, from the similarities of Goat Simulator, the same physics ragdoll is there from Goat Simulator, and just the general vibes that you get from, well, some of the quirky weapons and utilities that you can use throughout the game do in fact definitely scream Goat Simulator. However, the gameplay itself I would describe more of a cross between Goat Simulator and something like Postal. The game definitely leans more towards, well, crazy violence, cartoonish gore than actually like, well, more funny derpiness that Goat Simulator was portraying back in the day. This is very clear within the opening moments of the game, where it feels like the developers really did push the dismemberment part of the game, especially with the gore mechanics, and it feels like the game was rigged against the player from the get-go. There's a lot of booby traps throughout the opening moments of the game, and even later on as you're exploring this world, you will come across it too. Honestly, it's really funny to begin with, but gets quite frustrating as you play further on, especially because the Ragdoll Glitchiness that this game is going for. Losing limbs left, right and centre is not fun when you have to pick things up, and especially when you're trying to progress. I could imagine that this would frustrate a lot of players, especially when you're trying to do objectives that just kind of based on randomization. This could be losing a certain amount of limbs and performing different tasks throughout the world, which sometimes will work one time but won't work the other. However, there is a balance between the objectives when it comes to the bucket list, which encourages the player to explore the world by performing tasks. There's a bucket list for each main location throughout the world, and they do unlock as the player explores and finds the new locations. You don't have to unlock any of these locations in order. I do like the non-linearness that this game actually delivers. As you progress, you unlock new items to mess around with, and also you can use tickets to unlock them from vending machines. There's quite a lot of gadgets and gizmos, and you can kind of go ahead and buy a load of them or save towards your retirement and towards end game. I do like the elements of freedom and to be able to play the game the way you want to, and I think the concept is absolutely hilarious. Like, it just sounds hilarious really, doesn't it? An old person Mayhem Sandbox game that has Ragdoll like Goat Simulator. However, the loss of limb feature and stuff like that does actually outstay its welcome for me, and I didn't find it as enjoyable as Goat Simulator. I guess it all depends in terms of gameplay whether or not you're going to find it really enjoyable to what kind of sense of humour you have. The game isn't meant to be taken serious, although functionality wise it is still a game, so finding the right balance between derpiness and over the top loss of limbs, I guess there needs to be a balance there for it to be replayable and well to be fun in terms of gameplay. For me it kind of just falls short there, and also let me just tell you, the map is not finished. I found myself out of bounds in some positions that I couldn't get back to the normal map, and it's kind of funny because in other areas you do get killed by the hand of God sometimes if you do find yourself going out of bounds. There are many different other glitches here and there, like people just floating in the sky, and also people just derping out for no reason. However, I do find this personally funny. I think they really do need to pull back on the dismemberment and just finish up and polish up the game a little, but on the other hand the size of the map is quite decent. Also the equipment and the items you get to use are all pretty awesome too. There also seems to be a lot of the same character models, animations and actions, the same looking cars flying around the place. I would just like to see more variety and diversity within the open world, well, regarding these aspects, in order to, well, just make it more immersive and to just really make the world feel more complete. I played the game for about 5.5 hours. This was in co-op and single player, and after that I kinda didn't really want to play it much afterwards. As bad as it sounds, I don't think this has a lot of replayability. I do think if they brush up and polish it in terms of gameplay, add the diversity that I've asked for, this game could actually be a winning game, because I really do love the concept, and it's definitely not without its funny moments, its quirks, its derpiness. There is an amazing experience beneath this, I know it. Optimization and performance wise, the game actually runs pretty smooth. There was no frame rate loss or anything like that. The game didn't crash on me. Everything was sweet in that department. I will leave system specs here. For the price that I paid, under £10 here in the UK, I think the game was worth it. There is enough content here to feel like you haven't been ripped off, let's put it that way. But it also does have its downsides that I've highlighted, and I think the best way to actually experience this game is to play it in co-op, maybe in cross-platform with friends, and that is really where the value is. There's enough secret locations, items, and enough to explore for it to be a couple of fun hours with a friend. You won't be spending like 20 hours in this game, but it has enough really to be worth its value in that situation. Plus, it's also really fun to be able to troll friends in games like this. So yeah, that is my honest thoughts, feelings, and opinions of Just Die Already. If you did like today's video, then smash that like button. Also consider subscribing if you are new. Join our Discord community, connect with others, share your own gaming clips, and well, just keep up to date with what's going on with Tech Evolve. I appreciate all the new subscribers recently. It's been amazing to see this channel grow. It's amazing that we've even gotten to the point now where we can say we're on the road to 10k, and I appreciate everyone for watching the videos, liking it, and supporting by a sub. I really do have the best community on YouTube. Anyway, with that said, I've been Jaguar from Tech Evolve, and I will see you in the next video.